Hello everybody and welcome back to Pathfinder Plays, and today we are going to be looking at the new Dead Matter blog released by the developers of Dead Matter. This is not fan-made, this is straight from them, so the information included in this video and in their blog, link in the description below, is very valuable. What I'm going to be doing in this video is simply going over some of the highlights for those of you who just don't have time to read it in full detail, so let's begin. First things first, underneath the roadmap update subtitle, they have mentioned that they are going to, quote, change quite a few things on the game's back end as we will not be soft launching onto Steam Early Access. They will be using their own launcher for the closed alpha, guys. Now, before you freak out, keep in mind, as far as I can tell from reading this is simply for the closed alpha, nothing else, not the early access. That will still be on Steam, but the reason why they want it on their own launcher is that they can easily gather player feedback that way without having to go through the restrictions that they see in Steam. Well, I saw a worried person on Twitter about this next one. They're potentially looking at working with a publisher to, quote, help maximize the quality and success of the project. Now, they said that this would be ideal for them, especially before the early access, but they did say that we could rest assured knowing that they will not take any deal that compromises the artistic integrity or their vision of the game. But an individual who got just a couple likes was worried about that, and he claimed that the developers would bend the knee to the publisher to make them happy, regardless of what they say here. I don't believe that's true, but also I don't really know that much about the relationship between developers and publishers, so I could be wrong, I hope not, but then again, we shouldn't paint with a broad brush. The developers have already shown that they are transparent and that they care very much about this game and that they answer all the questions that we have. So I'm sure that there could be a discussion to be had if you all really wanted one. Next up is the programming update. First thing first is the networking optimization. Some of the highlights in this is that Dead Matter is an extremely complex project with tons of interactive elements, and they gave some examples here such as any light can be shot out, any light can also be turned on or off by a switch, and lights are also an actor that requires power. One single apartment building in Dead Man's Flats contains hundreds of interactable lights. Then he talks a ton about optimization and efficiency and essentially reworking and reestablishing and improving the system to be more optimized for interactive elements inside buildings. Since then, they have actually been able to add a lot of small networked interactions, and they give the example of popping tires on static vehicles. I hope that they will be able to get this on moving vehicles, but as of right now, this is pretty dope. As far as database subsystem, they added SQL databases that will allow you to share information across multiple servers, which means that you can play the same character on different servers. He also wrote up a SQLite database for single player and for people that want to boot up a dedicated server with minimal hassle. There was also an inventory overhaul. As far as item changes, they have cleaned up the way the items are interacted with as well. They wanted to increase the flexibility of item data and make it easier to work with, which is very nice. Weapons, something we are all interested in. As you guys can see here, there is a sexy amount of inertia. What they wanted to avoid was the weapons looking stiff and looking weightless, so they did add this inertia. They added some procedural animation to them to make some weapon movement look very good. And a lot of these changes were introduced and animated by hand, which is very, very impressive. And you may notice that there is a little bit of a stutter in the movement of the firearm in that video, but he addresses that in saying that he's trying to find a way to fix that and implement proper motion that doesn't stutter. He's looking at implementing simple harmonic motion as well as critically dampened spring interpolation. And they have finally implemented proper leaning animations, and it looks really good, guys. I am impressed. It looks solid, it's smooth, it's not too sudden, it's not too slow, it's very nice. And then they've had parallax scopes. It's been in the project for a while, but due to the way the aiming offsets were previously set up, they said it was a nightmare to get them working consistently. So they went ahead and reworked that system with universal compatibility in mind. Nomad is still working on gameplay elements for the mines. He's working on some obstacles for the mines, players utilizing the pump systems for gas and water hazards to clear a path that won't kill them. And there are videos right here. You can see one is a giant fan, and they did say that there is sound in some of the videos, but just to note that they are placeholders or they are missing altogether. Abiscuits has been continuing his work on the vehicle system in game, and as we see right here, he has been working on the trailer system. This is a work in progress, but as you can see, you get in the vehicle, you back up the vehicle to where the trailer is approximately, you get out of the vehicle, you go to the back of the truck, you look at the trailer, you look at the hitch, you're able to connect it. I don't know if they're going to add an animation later on, they very well might. It connects it, and then you drive away, hunky-dory, nothing wrong in the world, and you're off with your trailer or your customizable digital sign. Happy days. And he drives off the edge. Great. Look at that physics though, that's great. And he's also been the one trying to make static vehicles more interactive and not so stagnant. So as you guys can see here, he is shooting out the tires on stagnant vehicles, cargo trucks, regular pickup trucks, cars, water truck. They're all getting their tires shot out. Very good. I like it. Gunslinger has been working on more infected behaviors, most recently their movement and horde grouping. I love that a lot. The example they're giving here in this imagery is saying that two hordes responding to and moving towards a target together will merge into a single horde with a common goal. There they are, and boom. They now go in the same direction and join into one single horde. That is absolutely terrifying. Please note, it won't be that sudden and abrupt of a switch in direction for one of the groups going in a direction, but that's what it is right now. That's the concept, and I really like that. Good job, man. Right here we see some new movement, which I know a lot of you guys were complaining about the movement, and once again, that was just a placeholder animation, but these animations right here look absolutely sick. It's way better. It's like 28 days later, like just they're reaching out, they're grabbing, they're just bumping off each other. It's so good. It's so good. Stefan and Tak, they have finished the M416 model and textures. Tak finished the model, Stefan finished up the texturing, and the M416 will be one of the rarer and more versatile weapon platforms in the game, and for good reasons. There's different barrel lengths, there's different magazine capacities, there's multiple fire rates, there's extendable butt stocks, there's a variety of scopes. Who knows what kind of grips you can put on there? Who knows what kind of compensators you can put on there? This is a very versatile weapon that is adept at long range and short range. Rizzler has to write about his recent work as well, they say. He's working on props, and the thing that he's showing off here is a soft object here, a bag of some kinds, and he really wants to show you guys it being a part to it being pulled together and looking at the mesh and the collision mesh and just, just appreciate it. Look how good that looks. It's a very soft bag, and it looks immersive. And then again, we have a duffel bag with a sling attachment on here, and he uses the program Marvelous Designer. So if there's anybody out there who likes animating, there you go. That's what he uses. And it goes into a lot more detail, more than I want to go through in this video. So if you guys are really interested in what he does, then go ahead, click on the link in the description and go check it out, because it's worth a read. The bag that I showed was created as part of a set of luggage with a texturing masking system designed by Shirk to allow different color variations, which is very nice. From what I'm seeing here, they kind of look a lot like the luggage that I see in the game The Forest that you would break apart to get like some candy bars or cloth or something. I wonder if it's the same kind of thing. Either way, it looks really nice. You see the clothes there and how they look. Shiny Hacksaurus has been working on finishing the texturing for the P90, and it looks sexy. He's also been working on reconfiguring the C7 to increase its modularity by adding various attachments and mounting points, and it also looks sexy. Close up. Another close-up. Along with texturing and mobility, Hacks has started working on animations for some of the tool belt items players will hold, such as compasses. Now, if you guys don't know, there will be items that you can put on your tool belt, which will not be then added to your inventory spaces. Now, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but I thought I heard that if you die with whatever items that you have on your tool belt, you'll respawn with. That may have changed. I don't even know if it was that way before, but I thought so. Moving on, Regicidal Knot. He has continued to work on various points of interest around the map. He's been laying out small stories and vignettes that we are able to find while exploring the world. He has started to work on the NPC dialogue. Yes! He has been using the voice actor in charge of Duke Cartridge, the resident pirate radio broadcaster in Dead Matters, Alberta. And his job is to inform players of incoming inclement weather, faction movements, and his own colorful take on the Canadian apocalypse. That will make for some very colorful dialogue and storytelling. Eventually, they say that Duke Cartridge will also be a quest giver NPC that players can choose to align with. And he wants to point out that the ultimate goal is for all interactive NPCs to be fully voiced and have dialogue trees if players want to chat with them. Naturally, not all NPCs will be interactive. Shirk, big boy Shirk, has been continuing his work on the collision for buildings, level of mesh details, doors, and new lighting setups for buildings. And as we have already covered, the lighting in Dead Matter is going to be insane and fully interactable. Here we have photos of powered, emergency power, and off. You can see the various kinds of lighting right here. Emergency powered buildings will only be lit by limited battery powered lamps. The lights are sparse and will offer minimal light inside buildings. That will make for a very scenic, very dreary, and perhaps even suspenseful building searches. Who knows, mix that lighting in with some zombie snarls and you got yourself a hell of a time. But keep in mind though that just because it's dim and not well lit does not mean it's unsafe. Contrasting that idea, they say that power buildings will be fully illuminated and offer a bright and welcoming interior for players and infected alike. Remember, the infected are drawn to light and sound, as well as seeing uninfected targets, so players will want to approach well-lit buildings cautiously. Keep that in mind if you have a base, or if you want to go loot a building that still has power on. This will be especially important in the very beginning of the server life because a lot of buildings will still have full power, so be sure to check those corners when you're going to do some room clearing. And whenever you guys get a chance and you go down here, I want you guys to take the time and appreciate the level of detail they've put into the lighting system in Dead Matter, and look at the variety and the mixtures and the nuances, because it looks so dang good in all these different environments and places. It's very impressive. And guys, they say that that's what wraps up the blog update. I am very excited for the updates they're going to be giving us here pretty soon. And remember guys, they will be addressing the state of the game in January, as well as their plans for soft launching the closed alpha. So stay tuned for that as well. And guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys found the information valuable, go ahead, go support the developers of Dead Matter. Like my video, share it with anybody who you think would be interested in seeing the highlights of the blog. Hit that subscribe button if you're so inclined to, and I will see you guys in the next one. Path out.